being a gotcha back parent
Hmm.
and a gotcha parent.
Oh, I love that distinction. That's great. Yeah.
So the you know, gotcha back parent recognizes that life's uncomfortable, you're going to be dealing with new experiences, and I need to give you the freedom to make mistakes and to
Hmm.
learn from those. The gotcha parent, you know, with the tracking devices,
Mm.
with ways to stay in touch. And there are parents who, will send me messages saying, I just can't help but look. And
Hmm.
my answer is, okay, look, but then what are you going to do with it?
Yeah. Wait, like, yeah.
So, how do you help a parent when they have so much access and so much fear? How do you help a parent know how to use that to
Mm.
be a steady presence versus a mess?
I'm very rarely prescriptive, and I'm not going to say there's never a reason, to know your college kid's location. Like
Right,
I think that, there's circumstances where it makes, I will
right.
defer to families. At the same time, I
Yeah,
think your question is the key one, which is like, okay, so what are you going to do? Right? Like what are you going to do with that information? And
yeah,
one question, I wrote a piece about this for the Times a long time ago about like, should you track your kid and what does it mean to
yeah,
track your kid? I think there is a little bit of an issue of it makes murky who is responsible for the kid's safety, right? The parent who is 2 states away or the kid who is at college. Like the kid who is at college is responsible for the kid's safety. And I think we want to really put the pressure on them to own that responsibility. Now, of course, there are kids who have type 1 diabetes and can end up in a medical crisis. And like, it doesn't make sense to be like, good luck, kiddo, right? Like, I mean, there's really, very
yeah.
real parameters. So that's why I'm like, I'm not going to say that there's a
Sure.
single answer. Um, but I do think we need to be mindful that raising kids in a digital universe means that we have a lot more information about our kids than we ever did before. And the analogy I have made at times, Harlan, you know how like it's possible to get a full body CT scan? And you know
Yeah.
how doctors are like, don't do it.
Don't do
Don't
it.
do it. You will find things you don't need to know. And
Right.
then you will do an invasive procedure. And then you will have, like a complication from the invasive procedure that you never needed to have. I think we need to think about our ability to track kids, our ability to look at their, what they're doing on their phones as a little bit like a full body CT scan, right? Like, yes, in theory, could it catch something terrible? But also, does it mean we're going to come across information that is upsetting and anxiety provoking that we never needed to have and is not actually a problem? And I think that's why I'm not going to be prescriptive about this, but I just think like those are the kinds of things that need to be
Yeah.
made when making these choices.
Yeah.